Hello Orcs and Goblins, this is Azeroth, the Gaming Orc, and I'm going to talk to you guys about some interesting stuff in World of Warcraft as well. I played a pretty interesting game here as my Resto Shaman and this Seething Shores BG, which is probably the worst BG to play, and most of the time what you're doing is you're just dropping down and you land on their whole team and you die. But I think I finally saw, I played this one a lot, and I think I finally saw how to play this BG for the first time and how to play it correctly with some strategy. We're actually around 1650 in MMR in this BG. It's just some random BG. I got my one Shadow Priest friend here, Weelu, in the group with me. We had won another game before this. Now we're fighting against basically an 1800 MMR team. So it's pretty good. You can see here I'm trying to go into Ghost Wolf to ninja cap this. But what's going on is around each one of these nodes like randomly spawn here in the Seething Shore, and you got to mine the node correctly. And you can see Weelu did a really good CC by stunning that guy. And what is going on is that I'm in, you basically have about 2 or 3 people per node, and as each node spawns you try to rotate around and you're trying to spread your team out as much as possible. Similar, I think, to Silver Shard Mines, where again you have 10 people. You want to just kind of spread around. This map requires very good map awareness, I think. So we end up killing, there's a rogue and priest. We had another guy drop out of the sky and help us out. I ninja capped that one area. I'm playing with another thing, Earthbind Totem, and or Earth Grab Totem, I'm sorry, which actually sends the roots out. It's extremely powerful totem. What it does is every 30 seconds, for 20 seconds, the totem stays up, and anyone within like 20 yards takes that area. I'm also dropping Sky Fury Totem as much as I can. Another interesting thing too is we actually have a Demonology Warlock, Drazgul from Tichondrius in here, and you'll see by the end of the match he actually scores a almost top damage. So the question is top tier Demonology, is it back, and what spec is he playing? How is he doing this much damage? What's his Azerite traits, etc. In my last video of destruction, this guy actually recommended some demonology traits that were quite good. I'm sorry, some destruction traits that were quite good to get a huge intellect boost, to actually drop huge chaos bolts. And you can tell from playing destruction, it's a lot of fun as well. Let me talk a little bit about Resto here. Resto is probably, in my opinion, one of the strongest healing classes in the game. You'd be surprised, but you don't need to have that many channeled casts to get counterspelled as a Resto Shaman. You can dispel curses, so there's only a few healers in the game that can do that. You can't dispel diseases, and on RBGs I noticed they do bring a lot of unholy DKs, which are pretty interesting to slow down the team. They have that huge AoE dot. It's a PvP talent, that's what they're telling me. See, I put the Earth Grab Totem right there. It really locks everyone down. And Resto Shamans are just very, very powerful. I feel like they just have a lot of utilities. They drop the Earthen Wall Totem. It's extremely difficult to kill someone through it. Every time they get hit by any ability, 2,000 damage from the totem is absorbed. It's on a minute cooldown. They have stun totems. They have just so much utility. And all their PvP talents are very, very good. I still feel the same way about actually enhancement shamans too, because a lot of those same strong PvP talents are still carried over. And in games like this too, I wouldn't even mind trying to play with Counter-Strike a little bit. I try to play with the Ghost Wolf form as much as I can, so I play Spectral Recovery. I just find that it's very powerful defensive to get away and kite, but you really want to synergize Spectral Recovery with the Spirit Wolf, that one talent. So if I'm running Earth Grab, I probably shouldn't be running Spectral Recovery. Shamans are really good. The Chain Heal has been buffed. Resto Shamans just overall getting some decent buffs. This is the same game, by the way. We had a guy leave our group and he said there's no fence, but there's no way you can win with 2 Resto Shamans. And we actually have 2 Resto Shamans this game. And if you have a strong caster comp, you can drop Sky Fury. You can see here I'm just kind of kiting and evaluating the situation, but you can see my Sky Fury and stuff is still on cooldown, and some of my other stuff is still on cooldowns. We're kind of zerging this node too much. This is something you don't want to do in this map. We actually should be pulling out and again sort of rotating out, but it's kind of a challenge to do it out. Part of the strategy, I think, behind BGs and RBGs in general is having just extremely good map awareness, knowing where you got to go, knowing how they recognize the fight you're winning the fight, and to peel out. Because in RBGs, the damage, since you're usually running 3 healers, it's difficult for damage to sort of swap and focus. And that's really the way they destroy them. And that's why I was talking about how I think Destruction Warlocks are actually very, very powerful, because they can coordinate an attack to actually do it. And I dropped the Earth Wall totem right here. There's just no way you can die in this totem. This totem is on a minute cooldown. Basically, you have a minute win button. Like, I've never been killed through this totem if you stay on the totem. Now, the totem is hard to see. You can see the earth like erupting around the totem. But anyone within that totem, it just takes a ton of damage. And I haven't really tried the Spirit Link talent, where you link together the 2 nearest people, the 3-minute cooldown. That obviously would be probably better than actually trying to stack on people and trying to drop that totem for Spirit Linking. Instead, it's sort of like a... I think that ability can be purged, because I've seen it on other players, especially on like hunters, but I don't think I don't know if you can purge it. Shamans overall are just really powerful. You have you have a lot of very powerful baseline abilities too. Tremor, what other? You have Grounding Totem, very powerful. So you can adapt. Like the comp we're facing now is a very melee focused one. That's why I wanted to go into Earth Grab, because it'll just slow their whole team down. See, and even if you break the root of Earth Grab, you're still stuck. Like, look at how slow this guy right here is, and my Earth Grab totem's up for 20 seconds, and so it forces him to bubble almost. These guys can't kill me. I dropped my Earth and Wall totem again because it's back up, you know, so it can focus me, but look at my HP pool just doesn't go down. And then if I really want to, I can drop into there. And I also like to wear the stun resist gear, the Azeroth stun resist gear, because like these rogues and stuff, they get on me. Now when I drop out of Ghost Wolf, I'm getting zerged a little bit here. I wasn't able to get out, but every time they stun me, they can't kill me. I just heal for a lot, you know, and then I'm in Ghost Wolf, so I have the Spectral Recovery, and then if I choose Spirit Wolf, like, I wouldn't have died there if I had Spirit Wolf instead of Earth and Grab, and that's why I love Spirit Wolf too. And it's actually surprisingly good. In this gear, actually I swapped out one of my Spirit Wolf pieces of gear, but I notice when I'm in Battlegrounds, it's actually a lot less. For whatever reason, it'll say instead of healing for 1300, it heals for only 700. That's what the tooltip will say. So I think Battlegrounds, even the Spirit Wolf Azeroth trait was sort of quote-unquote balanced. There's the Demonology Warlock right there, casting that portal up. And also, it doesn't hurt that I'm dropping Sky Fury Totem for him. He is playing with the Fel Guard right there, but I haven't seen him drop the Fel Lord at all. So I'm kind of interested to see what... I should have kind of looked at his spec a little bit more, but I didn't see till the end of the game, and I had to, unfortunately, log off. There's a rogue. See, my Earth Grab Totem actually got that rogue out of stealth too, and allows my team to focus him, because the rogue doesn't have any healing. But we force that rogue to come out, because we'll just start mining it. See, rogues, they're really quite good, but in Arena they're much, much better, because there's no quote-unquote objectives. But like in a game like this, where you're forcing the rogue to be proactive, they oftentimes can't just be stealth. Okay, so now their healers actually showed up, but the thing is too, Shamans also have Purge, so it's like they have a ranged Dispel, and they have PvP talents that are centered around purging. Every time I purge someone, I gain like 3% HP on myself, and I also can do an Electrocute, so it does some damage over time. My stun is down, I get cheap shotted here. You can see the Demonology Warlock also doesn't get focused a lot. I'm just watching him right now to see what he's doing. He's dropping the Doom Bolt. Notice that he's not getting focused, so I run over there. I'm getting focused by 2 rogues, so I drop the shield. They try to smoke bomb kill me, but they can't do it. And I'm the only one healing myself. I wisely actually end up popping one of my cooldowns, which I rarely actually ever do, because I don't need to. See, even though if I'm moving at a snail's pace, I have 2 marks of death on me. I can jump into Ghost Wolf, pop out, jump, drop a totem or 2. And that's exactly what I'm doing, and I can sustain myself. I don't need to say that, and every time I get stunned like there, I get healed up. Now I'm a little bit of danger, because, you know, I'm just stuck in a stun. I can't really heal myself. I'm trying to put Earth and Wall down. I drop End Cap Totem. I'm trying to just break away, and I can't, because they're crippling poisons. The one weakness of the Shaman is I can't do anything, and they caught me outside of Ghost Wolf there. And again, it's just because I don't have Spirit Wolf. Like, I can't break away there, and if I did have Spirit Wolf, those two rogues couldn't have killed me. Look at the map. Like, this is what I'm trying to focus in on there. You can see that our team, on every node, there's like 2 or 3 people. And there should be realistically 1 healer per person there. I'm looking for Weelu. You can spin the flag. Both of our shamans are dead. The last healer is going down. But you can tell here, like, and also I'm spawning right near that node. So I go to the closest node too, and I'm evaluating it. But we always have a couple people there to contest it. And we're up quite a bit in this match. The score right now is 800 to 200. I'm always trying to get a little. If I feel like we're winning the fight as a Resto Shaman, I try to get more offensive too. I'm trying to put out hexes, purges, and then I'm trying to counter more. I'm trying to use the shear a lot more as well. And as I get better and better playing a Shaman, because Resto Shaman is such a deep class to play, because you have just so much utility, and knowing how to counterplay things, you'll be able to be, I think, mix that offensive ability. The shock ability is very, very powerful. So I just earth grab that guy because I don't want him to even come. So he's like very slow, and we were to try to get to this node. It looks like this guy jumped out. I'll throw out hex as an offensive ability, and shamans actually have a talent where you can hex every 10 seconds. I mean, shamans all around are just ridiculous. It's a PvP talent. They just have so much ability and power. Let's talk about warlocks a little bit. Before I get to the warlock talk, Shadow Priest today was announced that they're getting a pretty significant buff. Dispersion's getting a nice buff. They're buffing just a lot of stuff for Shadow in general. They realize that Shadow's just in deep trouble, really. You can see here I'm getting kind of focused a little bit, and I'm able to drop a lot of totems. They're trying to kill me. I can drop Earth and Wall on myself and just get away. I'm dropping Earth and Grab. There's just I'm a little low here, but I do have another support healer that just topped me off. Or no, I got life swapped by Weelu, because Weelu's just he's kind of like my good Shadow Priest, so it just kind of reset the whole fight there. Walks Destruction is very good for RBGs. Affliction, always just good in BG. Affliction is just all around good. PvE, PvP. And I think Demonology is actually, like you'll see after this game, is actually pretty viable too. This game, I think, highlights probably Demonology. I imagine he's doing a lot of implosions. They also buffed a Azerite trait for Affliction. The one where you cast Unstable Affliction on a target who already has Unstable Affliction, and you get a haste or intellect bonus. That apparently is now outsimming the other talents. The way I set up my Affliction Warlock now, I think, is setting up 1 piece of Sudden Onset and 2 pieces of Inevitable Demise. Now, my Inevitable Demise gear is not as highly ranked, but remember in 8.1 they're nerfing Inevitable Demise. So will it be as strong? Nobody knows. But the survivability of Warlocks will be much higher, so you can actually run probably maybe 3 pieces of Sudden Onset still and do pretty decent. There's just going to be new talents and things like that too, so it's hard to really read into it. But I think Warlocks in general, at least for Arena in 8.1, will be a lot more powerful. This game is just a domination. Elemental Shamans too are getting a big nice rework. People are talking about them doing 70k setup hits in BGs, I think, or on the target dummy. I hope they actually make. I know a lot of people were frustrated with Elemental when the expansion law kind of dropped. It is true, their damage should be definitely higher. You see I got caught in a stun there, but I'm in my Earth and Wall totem. I just cannot die. There's just no way. You can see even the priest is trying to damage me, and it's impossible. What's the other thing I really want to say is that Enhance is still really powerful, but I'm having a lot of fun playing something kind of new and interesting with this Resto Shaman. And you see, I don't even... As Resto, I feel like I'm so powerful, I don't even need to use all my abilities all the time. I really try to manage all the cooldowns because the totems are on such a decent cooldown. You can see I went into my big form there, and you know, I'm jumping in and out of Ghost Wolf. They have awesome mana sustain too, between all their just passive totems that cost almost no mana. Just trying to purge this, and they can actually, there's certain Azeroth traits which you can get the regen mana to. Well, it just feels to me like you don't even need it. Oh, almost I let that my other guy die, and I got mind controlled, so I did mess up there a little bit, but it's not a big deal. A nice trap by the hunter. I've really seen in RBGs, I've really seen almost every class do very well, to be honest with you. Even DKs do very, very well. So I think that it's just more or less the skill of the player, to be quite honest. I think the game is actually in a PvP is actually in a very good state right now. I think Arena is actually in a very good state too. I just got my last neck piece for actually both of my characters up to like 26. So now I don't even need to, what is it? I can unlock the last ring. So it makes rogues a lot weaker because it reduces a lot of the burst damage. And so you can get the stun, the incapacitate and stun gear and all that stuff. For PvP talents, for PvP in general, for Azeroth, I think you should try to focus in on getting the ones I already used my trinkets so I can't break the stun. That's the problem with if you do play the Ghost Wolf form with Resto Shamans. If you get caught outside of like your spectral form and stuff, so you're like, I'm getting really low here, and I'm not really healing myself. So kind of the game's over though. And I get decent gear out of this too. So we were a 1700 rated team. We just beat an 1800 rated team. I think that's really, really good. I want to show you the scoreboard here a little bit. Look at the Survival Hunter actually did top damage at 4.7 million. Then you got our Demonology Warlock number 2, 4.1, which is very high for this type of battleground. So it's interesting to see, like, okay, you know, that they're really good. And sometimes I'll get top healing, but sometimes the shaman healing isn't really registered. I have 3.7 million, but the priests most of the time get the top healing, but I don't think it counts, like all the absorption, the Sky Fury, all the utility that shamans bring. Like, subscribe, comment.